Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Kara Corey here, and we are about to start a whole new series on this channel. I'm gonna need a little bit of your help with it though, but before we dive right into it, it's been so long since I've just sat down and kind of chatted with you guys. Many of you maybe even started coming to this channel for my dietitian talks. I have a whole playlist of dietitian talks that you guys can view. So I kind of want to bring those back to the channel, but in a different format. I want to keep things a bit more condensed and concise. And I've noticed with engaging with you all during my lives that you have some great questions. Sometimes it's stuff that I don't even think about that you guys maybe need help with. So being a registered dietitian in the field for 15 years, working with all different types of people, I have so much experience, and it really does provide me with a lot of value to get back to you guys and to help you along in your own journey. So I want to create this new series where we're going through topics. I'm answering your questions and kind of shortened videos just to help everyone out, so that I have this kind of curated playlist where anyone who's struggling or just needs some help, a point in the right direction, maybe just needs to get back to basics a bit with things, you'll have this great playlist to go to. What I need your help with though is what to call it, because I'm not quite sure. I've done my dietitian talk series, and I also dabbled a little bit in what I called bite-sized bits, but I feel like I need a catchier title than that really captures all the different topics we're about to go through. You guys are super creative, so I would love to hear your ideas, or maybe even after this video, once you've watched it through, you'll get an idea of what you think would be a good idea for the name of the series. So please leave me your fun ideas in the comment section. And if I choose one of your ideas, maybe I'll even send you a little gift as a thank you or something. But you guys are probably way more creative than me, so looking forward to your ideas. Jumping into today's video, and the first video for the series, being that we are now like 1-2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I always like to kind of go back to basics a bit with discussing the holiday season and really how I best guide my clients, myself, anyone I love on how to navigate the holiday season. It can be a really tough time in terms of nutrition. It can be a tough time for many of reasons, which can take a toll on our own health and nutrition. One thing I've noticed after working with clients for many years is that this time of year tends to be when people, I mean, we all get busy, right? But in terms of really focusing on our health, creating some goals for ourselves, we tend to put it on the back burner and say, nah, I'm gonna wait till January. I'll start in January with everyone else to start dieting, and that's when I'll get my life together. And I'm here to tell you that is my exact opposite approach of what I believe in as a dietitian for what you all should be doing. So if there's one thing that I can drive home to you all watching this video, it's please do not wait until January. You will fail if that is your mindset right now, that you're gonna wait till January. You're gonna fail. You're already setting yourself up for failure by thinking that you can't make changes now. And I understand this time of year is so super busy for many of us on different levels, but my approach to reaching your health and fitness goals is not to just change your entire life. It is to start in small, slow steps. And regardless of how busy you're about to be, there is no reason why you can't start today. After watching this video, there's no reason why you cannot start today with making some healthy changes to your life. And when I say that, I know you may be thinking, this dietitian's crazy. She's about to tell me to cut out sweets and to not go to social events and to work out more when I have less time. It's not that at all, and any of my clients can probably vouch for me that that is not how I handle things in terms of making lifestyle changes. That is what we preach here. That is what Kara Corey Fit Life came from. It's a fit life. It's it's fitness and health for the long term, for longevity. So I'm going to give you guys some of my tips today on how to handle the holidays with a bit more of a gentle nutrition approach, which is an approach I use with my clients all year round, not just approaching the holiday season, but I think you will find some of these tips helpful. Number one that I've already alluded to is making small steps in the right direction. That does not mean that day in and day out you're following some strict meal plan, you're on a hardcore regimented workout plan, and if you're not doing it to 100%, then you failed. Nope, that's not it. All I'm asking you to do is to look at your day. Practice a bit more mindfulness. We're going to talk more about mindfulness in a minute later in the video, but I want you to be thinking more about what small steps can you take today? What can you do differently today that can maybe make a difference in your health? Let's throw weight loss out the door. Let's just think about being a healthier individual and not focusing on the scale this holiday season. That is not necessary to become a healthier version of you. So is it just looking at your day today and saying, I'm going to at least plan out one of my meals today? Or is it just adding in some vegetables today? Maybe you're someone that has not been eating any vegetables or any fruits. Maybe you add something in. That small step does not have to mean cutting things out and working out more. That small step can be as simple as adding to your life, adding to your diet, adding in more hydration, adding in extra fruits and vegetables. Change nothing else. Even if you went to the McDonald's drive-thru, change nothing else today except get in some vegetables or get in some fruits or make sure you drink a little extra water. That's it. It can be that small of a step that you could be focusing on right now that could make or break the difference in your mindset, and that is just going to have a domino effect on some of the other choices that you make along the way. Number two, while we're approaching the holiday season, and this one can be challenging, but I do not want you to just throw out structure in routine. Some of you maybe thrive on structure. Maybe some of you feel like I have no structure. Help, I need help with structure. If you have some kind of structure right now, whether it be with the meal timing, meals you're eating on a regular basis, workouts, when you're getting up in the morning and going to bed. Some of that structure, while it may get a bit wonky coming into the holidays with things being ultra busy, I want you to still try to pick some of those few habits that you've already got in place to keep in place. So for instance, if you've got a holiday party scheduled for Saturday or a Thanksgiving gathering, but you normally get up and you go for a 30-minute walk in the morning and have your coffee, still do that. Don't just throw all your normal routines out the door because your day may look different than any other day. And I don't know how frequently people do this, but still lean into that structure of what you've already created. So we tend to get a bit shook when things are different. If you're eating out, going somewhere different, try to keep a couple of those habits in place. It'll go a long way for your mindset and just your overall reflection of the day, not feeling like it wasn't your normal, because many of us do really thrive in some kind of routine and structure. So knowing that you keep a little bit in there from the day to day, even if it varies, being able to have that flexibility with yourself will go a long way throughout the holidays, while each and every day could be totally different for you. With keeping that structure, I have to mention, do not have the mentality of skipping out on meals to save up for later. It never pays off. It always bites you in the tushkins. So be sure that you be cognizant of that. Knowing that you're going to go out with friends tonight does not mean you should starve yourself all day. You will end up probably consuming more calories because you are going to get so hangry and in that point of just pure hunger that all good decision-making thoughts and processes will go out the door. I don't care if you're a dietitian, a doctor, or whoever you are. It doesn't matter. When you get to that level of hunger, it's that bottomless pit type feeling, and folks tend to consume more calories than if they would have just ate their regular meals throughout the day. So make sure you are keeping that regularity within your day, and don't try to save up for later. it will not pay off. This time of year, I know many people don't really want to track macros. They don't want to be super bogged down with that level of detail with accountability and tracking. And that's okay if that's not for you. That's totally fine. There's other techniques you can use to still really keep an eye on how things are going. So for instance, many of you may, I feel like, get lost in the sauce a bit when you're not able to really recognize what you're doing well. That's where the tracking component can kind of play into things nicely, because it gives you that ability to look and reflect back on how things are going. Now, that doesn't mean you have to use MyFitnessPal or a food tracker in effort to do so. What I would suggest is, if you can set aside just a little bit of time, if this journey is important to you, to do a little journaling, essentially. So you don't have to be logging meals, tracking things, weighing things, but doing kind of a daily journal, even if it's a few minutes in the morning or at night, maybe on your lunch break, whatever works well for you during the day, to just kind of jot down your thoughts and feelings on what you're doing good. So oftentimes we get bogged down in what we're not doing well, or maybe you're just solely focused on your weight on the scale. As I mentioned, you should not do that this holiday season. Focus on the other things in your life that you are doing well. Those little mini accomplishments on the day-to-day that we all do. We all have many accomplishments that we can find within our day. It's being able to recognize, though, is sometimes the difference between someone who is able to be successful and someone who is not. Because when you're unable to see any of those accomplishments you've made, you tend to get into that negative mindset, negative headspace, and nothing matters, and screw it all, and I'm just going to do whatever. It doesn't matter. We know those people, or maybe we've been those people before. So what can really work well for you is just tracking some of those small accomplishments day to day, whether it's that you ate your regular meals, whether you got enough sleep last night, maybe you completed a task that's been on your to-do list for a while. It doesn't always have to be food and nutrition or fitness. It can be some of those other to-dos within our life that sometimes linger on our shoulders and cause a bit of anxiety that can lend itself to emotional eating if left undone, right? So being able to journal or have some type of tracking mechanism of checking in with yourself to see how you're doing. I like to give my clients, kind of a weekly focus. Once a week, set some mini goals to reach for each week. Those smaller, more sustainable goals, whether it's, eating some more fruits and vegetables, whether it's not going to Starbucks as much, whether it's, reducing your alcohol from 3 times a week to 2 times. Those are just examples. Figure out what is a small realistic goal for you on a weekly basis, and at least give yourself that once a week check-in to sit down and see what you're doing well or that you could improve upon. It makes it feel less overwhelming, I think, than just ignoring it all. We like to do that sometimes too, but just do a quick check-in with yourself to really acknowledge those small rewards. If you're not able to acknowledge the small rewards, oftentimes you're someone that's going to get really frustrated very quickly with any plan or program that you begin. It doesn't matter who the coach is, what type of program you're starting. If you're not someone that's able to recognize the small wins and positives in each and every day, you are going to find yourself frustrated rather quickly in hand. But thinking about gentle nutrition, some who maybe take more of an intuitive eating approach to their diet, you've maybe heard this concept before, but it's really more so about thinking about the intention behind your meals. No longer demonizing foods, not looking at foods as good or bad. Sure, we know some foods have more nutritional content than others, yes. We need to start looking at foods like they're all morally equal, right? In terms of our morals, that one isn't superior than the other. That's where these emotions and attachments of guilt start to come in. So really being more mindful of how in your mind, if you're someone who's like a self-talker, I know some people aren't, which is a strange concept to me because I am always having conversations up here, but if you are not someone that does that, understood. But the way we think about things, the way we talk about foods and their value, whether it's a hamburger or a piece of fruit, starting to think about the way we're discussing them and handling things a bit more intentfully. with that being said, thinking about fitting all the foods in that you like this holiday season. Maybe it's the pie that you love, or the mashed potatoes, or macaroni and cheese. That's fine, but you still want to focus on your health, right? That's okay. You can have both. I know it seems like it has to be one extreme or the other. Either you're body positive and an intuitive eater, or you're trying to lose weight. No, you can have the best of both worlds with focusing on both. So you can be intentful with having an all foods fit approach, having your treats, whatever that may be, but still saying, you know what, I'm going to kind of have some more colors on my plate though, because I'm going to have the mac and cheese. I'm also going to add in some broccoli and some vegetables, and I'm going to do this. Doing it as a means of being more health focused and more aware of what you're choosing and why, versus, well, I guess I'm going to eat the salad now to kind of cut calories to save for later. No. That's not the mindset I'm talking about. So you can see the difference there, where we need to be aware of what conversations we're having about the foods we're choosing and the why behind it. Some of us do this easy peasy lemon squeezy. Others, there's a lot that goes on behind every single decision. If you are that person, it may be beneficial to kind of dive into this a bit more for your own mental health and physical health. Moving into mindfulness, this goes along with everything. That's another technique you guys can use this holiday season, versus being super strict, just being more mindful about what you're doing on a daily basis. Thinking about when you are having all the extra sweets and treats. Sometimes it feels like this time of year, like the next 6 weeks, you're just presented with like delicious desserts and new things on a daily basis because of how social we tend to be with gatherings and family events and things of that nature. So just be mindful of what you're doing and why. Remember not to throw out all your routines, and also don't have the Last Supper approach either, which we tend to do oftentimes, where you're thinking, I'll just get it all in now because tomorrow it's back on the straight and narrow. No, let's not do that. Let's just kind of be more mindful. Again, not demonizing any foods, enjoying a little bit of what you like, but remembering, guess what? All that food, it will be there tomorrow. Maybe you don't have Aunt Pam's sweet potato pie laying around every single day of the year. Understood, but it doesn't mean you need to eat the whole pie. Have a little bit, have a taste, have a piece, enjoy it, but know that starting tomorrow, foods are not off limit. You have to start shifting from that mindset of it being all or nothing, which happens a lot the holiday season. And that's where we get people into the January fad diets, where they'll just deal with it then. I want to encourage you guys to not go that route. No diets in January. Let's all kind of start thinking about things we can do day to day, small steps. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, but there's lots we can do on a day-to-day basis where we can still keep our health in mind. We can still keep our goal in mind if you have specific goals, while enjoying the holidays with your family. Last thing I want to mention before we close out this video is taking awareness of some of the conversations that are happening around you. I know from my own personal experience, sometimes that can be a trigger for me. So be aware of the body talk, the diet talk that can start to occur between Thanksgiving and January. There's a lot of it that goes around, and just pay attention, all right? Pay attention to if it impacts you, if it triggers you, if something comes up that's triggering, quickly navigate the conversation elsewhere or remove yourself from the conversation. If comments and things are about you, your eating habits, your body, etc., try to shut them down as politely as you can. And again, remove yourself from that situation or change the conversation. Same with social media that you're consuming. If there's things that you're consuming on social media right now that's triggering to you, that is not providing value to you, and in fact is doing the opposite, start taking note of that. Take note of what does kind of create a negative experience for you and potentially even impact your eating habits for the rest of the day. That can happen. So be aware of that and try to remove that from your life as much as possible. Try to keep those conversations and those people around you that are more positive in their conversations, that aren't as focused on dieting and body and everything that could potentially be triggering you and how you're handling your own self. I could sit here and give you guys tips till I am blue in the face, but I think that's a good start for navigating the holiday season. Kind of a lot to think about in this video, so I want you to comment down below which one of my tips hits home with you the most and why. And also if you have any other tips to share for the community, for others that are helpful for you on navigating this time of year, feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. So I hope you guys, before you guys head on out of here, because I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, be sure that you do hit that thumbs up button if you like these types of videos. Make sure you are subscribed, as well as hit the post notification bell. That way you guys are notified each and every time that I upload. I am really excited to continue this series with you guys, and I can't wait to hear what your ideas are for a series title. So leave those below as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.